which is flight. Flight, 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 flight. Then we have il biglietto, 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 which you can also use when you're traveling on a train. So il biglietto is sort of any ticket, to be honest, and it's spelled I-L, il, so the B-I-G-L-I-E-T-T-O, il biglietto, which is ticket, 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 ticket. We then have il passaporto, which is passport, 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 and that's really important to have when you're going on holiday because you need it to check in, you need it to travel on your plane, and in general, being in another country, it's important to have some form of ID. Now this one sounds very similar to the English, il passaporto, so hopefully not too difficult to remember. We then have il treno, treno, which is a train. We then have, I can't actually read that backwards, l'autobus or il pullman. Now I don't know which one is used more often. Someone might say in the comments below, but you can say il pullman or l'autobus for bus. So you might be getting a bus from the airport. So it's another good thing to know. Now I have some questions that you might need to ask someone if you are trying to get somewhere. So the first one is dove si trova la stazione? Dove si trova la stazione? Which is where is the station? Where is the station? Then we have a che ora parte il treno? A che ora parte il treno? So that is at what time does the train leave? Or what time does the train leave? Then finally we have quanto costa un biglietto per? Quanto costa un biglietto per? So how much does a ticket cost? How much is a ticket to? And that's another really important thing to know about, so I thought I'd include in this list. Now what I normally do is I'll spell out each word, so that if you're not looking, it can be a little bit easier to try and understand the spelling. I'm not going to do that for all the sentences, but for the remaining 3 words that I didn't spell out, I'll do it. So we have il passaporto, which is the passaporto, P-A-S-S-A-P-O-R-T-O, il passaporto. Then we have il treno, il again the, and then treno, T-R-E-N-O, which is train. We then have l'autobus, which is L apostrophe, because it would normally be la autobus, but in Italian, if you remember in my other lessons, we use an apostrophe to, it's easier to say like that. So l'autobus is a bus, and it's spelled L apostrophe A-U-T-O-B-U-S, l'autobus. So those are some of your travel words. Now I'm going to quickly test you. So I'm going to take this away and I'm going to say the Italian and you're going to tell me the English just to start off a little bit easier. So we have, what is il treno? Il treno. Well done, it's the train. We then have il volo. What does that mean? The flight. Well done, amazing. Then we have il passaporto. What do you think that means? Yes, it's passport. And then finally, let's do one of the questions. A che ora parte il treno? A che ora parte il treno? Yes, what time does the train leave? Well done. I'll just show it to you one more time. So those are some useful travel words. The next we're going to do is accommodation. And actually, I think I reprinted it. No, we are going to do this one. Yeah, let's start with this one. So here are the words. So accommodation is alloggio. Now the first one is super simple and super easy, and it's actually spelled the exact same way as the English word. So l'hotel is hotel. Now you can also say albergo. But this one is like when I was looking this up, they just said hotel, so I was like l'hotel is fine. Guest house. Now that is la pensione. Now I've not really used this word very much, so I hope it's correct. But it sounds a bit like pension in English, so la pensione. There's the other word. I know this is hostel. So if you're wanting to stay in a hostel or looking for the word hostel, that is l'ostello. Now a lot of people use hostels when travelling because they are a budget-friendly option, so that's a really good word to know. Then we have prenotazione, which is reservation. Now you can also use this when you're going to a hotel as well. So you might need to say, oh, I've got a reservation for, and this one's useful because when you're checking into your hotel, you need to let them know you have a reservation, otherwise you might not be able to get in. Then we have vorrei prenotare una camera, which is I'd like to book a room. Then we have c'è il wifi, which is there Wi-Fi. Now some people might just say c'è il Wi-Fi. Maybe Wi-Fi is actually what's probably normally said. So c'è il Wi-Fi. And that's a good thing to ask at the hotel, especially if you're going to be staying there a little while. And then finally we have a che ora è il checkout. And that's another really useful phrase to know, because you need to know when you have to pack up and leave your room, which at the end of a holiday no one wants to do, but it's always a good thing to know. So a lot of these actually sound like the English, which is super helpful, and it makes even spelling a little bit easier as well in Italian. The way you're saying it is the way you spell it, if that makes sense, because in English that's not always the way it is. So let's just quickly go through them again. So l'hotel is hotel, or you can say albergo. Then we have la pensione, which is guest house. L'ostello is hostel. Prenotazione is reservation. Vorrei prenotare una camera is I'd like to book a room. Then we have c'è il wifi. C'è il Wi-Fi. Is there Wi-Fi? And then a che ora è il checkout? What time is checkout? So those are some useful words to know when you're doing anything on holiday to do with your accommodation. I mean, there's so many more words, but these sorts of videos are teaching you simple phrases and then some useful vocab as well. So I think we can do one more, and that is beach vocab, which is la spiaggia. So at the beach is alla spiaggia. La spiaggia is beach. Then we have il mare, which is the sea. And then we have l'ombrellone, which is a beach umbrella. Knowing that word is really helpful, because you might see a sign for beach umbrella, and if you're going to Italy it will be very hot in the summer at the beach, so if you can, getting a beach umbrella is the best idea. And then I have on this other sheet of paper a couple of other ones. I have la crema solare, which is sun cream, and then we have posso noleggiare un lettino. So in Italian you can say letto is a bed, and lettino is sort of means like a little bed, but in Italy we use it for sunbed. So you can say posso noleggiare un lettino. And then we have è sicuro nuotare qui. Is it safe to swim here? Even that is good to know. I mean, there's usually flags in Italy at the beach, so you can sort of tell, but that won't be everywhere, so that's sometimes a good question to ask as well. So I'm going to now spell them out for you. So la spiaggia is la L-A, spiaggia S-P-I-A-G-G-I-A. Then we have il mare, which is the sea. Il-I-L, the mare, M-A-R-E, which is the sea. Then we have l'ombrellone. So that's L apostrophe O-M-B-R-E-L-L-O-N-E, which is beach umbrella. Then we have la crema solare. La crema solare. So L-A, la, crema, C-R-E-M-A, and then solare, S-O-L-A-R-E. And then we have posso noleggiare un lettino. So those are phrases. I'm not going to spell those out because they're a little bit long. And then sicuro nuotare qui. Now, out of all the words, I'm actually going to do a little test now of a few of these words, and I want you to give it a go. I'm going to tell you the Italian and you say the English. So I'm going to be doing the accommodation vocab and the beach vocab, and then we'll finish the video here. So let's go with l'ostello, l'ostello, l'ostello. Yes, that is hostel, hostel, hostel. Then we have c'è il Wi-Fi, c'è il Wi-Fi. Is there Wi-Fi? Well done, that one's a little bit more obvious. Then we have la crema solare, la crema solare, la crema solare, which is sunscreen. Perfect, 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 perfect. Then we have il mare, which is the sea. Okay, and finally, let's do l'ombrellone, beach umbrella. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this vocab was super interesting and helpful. I have some more to go with this theme, so I'm going to do a part 2. I just can't film too long today, so I thought I'd just do a shorter video, but I hope it was still interesting